Hey there, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com, and today I want to share some specific things that you need to think about as a mountain biker when doing kettlebell swings. Now, the swings are one of the best exercises that you can do for mountain biking for a couple of reasons. They reinforce good body position, they teach you how to move from the hips and not the shoulders when you're moving around the cockpit, and they also teach you the hip action that you need so that you can manual and bunny hop and pop into the lip and jump your bike. So a lot of great stuff from the swing, but you have to understand the movement that you need on the bike and then how the swing helps you train that movement. And then that'll give you a better idea of how you need to use the swing as a mountain biker. So just so we're on the same page, what we're looking for is the action at the hips. We're pushing the butt back and we're letting the chest come down. So when we're on our bikes, this is our attack position. Even if we're sitting on our seat, we still want to work on hinging from the hips and butt back and chest down. So what this does, it gets our center of gravity back behind our bike center of gravity, so we're in a good balanced position, but we're spread out. We have some weight on the front end so that we can effectively steer the bike as well. So that's what we're looking for, and that's what we need to practice from our swings. So when we're doing our swings, we need them to look something like this. So you can see how I'm working this forward and back projection of energy and movement of my hips. So this is what we need. Now, unfortunately, what happens is we get riders who get into programs where they have coaches that don't necessarily understand what we need as riders. And so they'll either let them get away with a squatty swing, or worse yet, they'll teach you what I call the Crossfit Swing, which is a squatty swing where you're bringing it over the top of your head. So this is what I see a lot of times happening with people doing swings. So it's more of a up and down like this, turning it into a squat, or even doing, like I said, like the CrossFit style swing where you're coming up all the way over the top of the head as well. And so you can see at the bottom position here, I'm sitting down, my butt is sinking, my chest is upright. You know, I'm not necessarily going to argue, you know, if you're doing it right, whether one is necessarily better than the other for just kind of general conditioning purposes. But for us as mountain bikers, it's very important that we're working this movement and not this movement. Because if this is what you train, if this is what you do when you're training, then that's how you're going to move on your bike. And you're going to ride with an upright posture because that's where your strength and your conditioning is. So if you do this, do the squatty swing, and you want to fix it, I got a couple of cool tricks that will help you do that. So first thing is, this is a functional movement screen test kit, but basically you can get something like this, like a 2x4, and you're going to put your toes on the 2x4. And so what we're doing here, you can see when we squat, we're dorsiflexing at the ankles because we want to run movement through the ankles and through the knees, which is not necessarily what we want to do on our bikes. So when I get my toes on this board, I've already dorsiflexed the ankles. They're up already. So I can't sink down anymore into my ankles. I have to figure out how to get my hips into it. So first thing that I would suggest doing is just learning how to do your deadlifts and doing them comfortably with your toes on this board. Because what you're going to find is that at first it's going to feel really awkward and you're going to feel like you're going to want to fall backwards. So once you have that down, you've got good command of that, you can actually take that into a swing as well and get to where you can do your swings with your toes on the board. And then you just want to take the board away and make your swings feel like they do, like the board makes you. So that's a really good way to retrain how you move with that. Oh, kit's falling apart here. So I'll show you one more cool thing that you can do, and that's using a towel and doing a towel swing. And so you can loop the towel through the handle. You want to grab relatively close, and then you're going to do your swing. And this is also a really good way to learn how to project from the hips and not using the lower back But for our purposes here, if you start to squat, you'll see the kettlebell will actually start to hit the ground. And so it'll force you to learn how to keep the kettlebell away from the ground and get away from going up and down, and again, learn that forward and back projection of energy. So again, if you're using the swing for mountain biking, then it's very, very important that you understand how you want to be moving during the swing so it'll translate best onto your bike. Anyway, so this has been James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems. You can check me out on the web at bikejames.com, and I'll talk to you next time.